everyone, my name is Sarah Hasanuma, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about rice in Japan. I'm going to begin the presentation with a little history. Rice was introduced from China around 13,000 BC. Since then, rice has been grown in Japan for over 2,000 years. The most prominent period in history for rice cultivation was during the Edo era, which spanned from 1600s to 1870. Japan's practice of isolationism strengthened the domestic markets for rice, including businesses along Edo, which is current-day Tokyo, Osaka, and Niigata. Rice used to be a form of currency, and gradually, rice became a part of Japan's national identity. Emperor Tenmu came up with the first myth histories of Japan during the 7th century. He proclaimed that rice was the product of heaven. The consumption of rice has decreased since the opening of international markets around the 1960s. A growing number of Japanese people were eating imported bread and meat, a trend that still continues today. On average, 60 kilograms of rice is consumed by a Japanese, which is half of the amount in the 1960s. Location and socioeconomic influence. A region called Akita produces the most crops per 100,000 population, followed by Yamagata, Niigata, and Iwate. The melted snow water on the side of Japan Sea provides good farmland. Today, Hokkaido has the largest production of crops acreage and production. Cold summers in the region pushes people to produce varieties of rice with high tolerance for cold weather. In recent years, there has been a shift in consumers' preference for imported rice. Matsuya, which is Japan's biggest beef bowl restaurant, began to serve Japanese and Australian rice. Certain sushi restaurants offer meals made with rice grown in California. The two factors causing this shift are decline in incomes and fears about radiation from the nuclear disaster in Fukushima, which is one of Japan's leading rice-producing regions. Naturally, the Japanese farming lobby opposes liberalization of the rice industry. At the bottom, I just have a quote by Toshiyuki Kako, who is a professor of agriculture from Kobe University. He says, "If we do see Japan opening up the market to more foreign rice, it would be a big shift in post-war Japan. It goes to show how far consumer attitudes have changed over the years." Cultivation. The quality of rice is highly dependent on the soil. During spring, farmers till the soil and layer in the straw to make it easier for water to soak up the soil. Unhulled grains are placed into the water until they sprout. Fertilizer is applied after disinfecting and drying the paddy. A rice planting machine is used to plant the seedlings in the field. This was done by hand in the past. As the rice grows, water management becomes more important. Most farms irrigate their water from nearby rivers or reservoirs. The rice is harvested in the fall after the paddies have been drained. A sorting machine is used to filter out damaged grains. With all of that said, I want to introduce you guys to my creator project, which is a short children's story about rice. The title is called My Vice is Rice. Once upon a time, there lived an evil little girl with magical powers. Let's just call her Sarah. One thing Sarah loved more than anything else in the world was rice. She ate rice every day, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Unfortunately for everyone who lived on Earth, Sarah was a very selfish girl. One day, she decided that she wanted to be the only one with access to rice. So she decided to magically steal all the rice from around the world. One of the most affected countries was Japan. Kokoromai, Heart of Rice restaurant, used to offer more than 10 types of rice on the menu. The owner of the restaurant, Tetsuhiro Yamaguchi, used to believe that rice is part of the Japanese DNA. What happens now with all of the rice gone? Rice is eaten almost every day in Japanese households. Now it's all gone. In 2007, Japan was the fourth highest exporter of rice, preceded by China, Germany, and the United States. Between 2008 and 2009, trend in exports have shown a decrease by 26%. How would the Japanese market survive without rice? Sarah heard all of these questions and complaints, but she didn't care. She ate rice day and night, every day, with a satisfied grin on her face. But after 46 days, the more she ate, the worse she felt. The Japanese people were sad, and this made her sad too. When she couldn't consume any more, Sarah decided to give the rice back to everyone. And so, the world was back to producing rice. And this is just a graph showing you the global production of rice. As you can see, Japan produces 11% of the world production. China is leading with 185.5%, followed by India with 141.1%. The United States, as you can see, only produces 9% of the world's rice. When Sarah returned the rice, it was a relief for everyone because rice has strong implications for Japanese culture. The linguistic link. The indigenous name for Japan is Mizuo no Kuni, or the land of rice. The name for US is Beikoku, which also means the land of rice. The word for rice, gohan, means meal. So the term rice can be used interchangeably in the Japanese language. Spiritual. Planting rice coincides with Shintoism, one of Japan's primary religions. Scholars believe that because rice is such a labor-intensive crop, farmers accepted communal virtues over time. People who did not cooperate became victims of murahachibu, or the banishment of the farmer and his children. Before I end this presentation, I just want to go over the policy and government structures relating to rice. Japan has strict government regulations concerning rice. Since World War II, the Japanese rice sector had been subject to heavy protectionism. In 1985, imports only totaled 0.2% of the domestic rice production. Today, the Japanese government subsidizes rice production by about $1.82 billion. The Japanese Rice Farming Income Stabilization Program allows rice farmers to claim payments. This equates to the difference between domestic prices and the predetermined standard price. Taxpayers spend about $2.8 billion for direct subsidies and indirect programs. This is 12 times more than the US and EU subsidies combined. These are all the programs that were in effect in the year 1999. At the top you see the Rice Farming Income Stabilization Program. followed by insurance premium payments, interest payments, extension services, and investments in farm capital. The return of Rice had made culture and governmental policies intact. Everything was well again. What was once Sarah's vice had made her nice.